40. Daniel has spoken therefore of two abominations, the one of destruction and the one of desolation. What is that of destruction but that which Antiochus established there at the time? And what is that of desolation but that which shall be universal when Antichrist comes? And there shall escape out of his hand Edom and Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon. For these are they who ally themselves with him on account of their kinship, and first addressed him as king. Those of Edom are the sons of Esau, who inhabit Mount Seir, and Moab and Ammon are they who are descended from his two daughters, as Isaiah also says, and they shall fly, extend themselves in the ships of strangers, and they shall also plunder the sea, and those from the east and from the west and from the north shall give them honor, and the children of Ammon shall first obey them. He shall be proclaimed king by them, and shall be magnified by all, and shall prove himself an abomination of desolation to the world, and shall reign for 1,290 days. Blessed is he that waiteth and cometh to the 1,335 days. For when the abomination cometh and maketh war upon the saints, whosoever shall survive his days, and reach the 45 days, while the other period of 50 days advances, to him the kingdom of heaven comes. Antichrist indeed enters even into part of the 50 days, but the saints shall inherit the kingdom along with Christ. 41. These things being thus narrated, Daniel proceeds, and behold, there stood two men, the one on this side of the bank of the river, and the other on that side. And they made answer to the man that stood upon the bank of the river, and said to him, How long shall it be to the end of these wonderful words which thou hast spoken? And I heard the man clothed in linen, who was upon the water of the river, and he lifted up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and sware by him that liveth for ever, that it shall be for a time, times and a half. And they shall know all these things, when the desperation is accomplished. 42. Who then were the two men who stood on the bank of the river, but the law and the prophets? And who was he who stood upon the river, but he concerning whom they prophesied of old, who in the last times was to be borne witness to by the Father at the Jordan, and to be declared to the people boldly by John, who wore the castia of the scribe about his loins, and was clothed with a linen coat of various colors. These therefore interrogate him, knowing that to him were given all government and power, in order to learn accurately of him when he will bring the judgment on the world, and when the things spoken by him will be fulfilled. And he, desiring by all means to convince them, lifted his right hand and his left hand to heaven, and sware by him that liveth for ever. Who is he that swore, and by whom sware he? Manifestly the Son by the Father, saying, The Father liveth for ever, but in a time and times and a half, when the dispersion is accomplished, they shall know all these things. 43. And by the stretching forth of his two hands he signified his passion, and by mentioning a time and times and a half, when the dispersion is accomplished, he indicates the 3.5 years of Antichrist. For by a time he means a year, and by times 2 years, and by a half time half a year. These are the 1,290 days of which Daniel prophesied for the finishing of the passion, and the accomplishment of the dispersion when Antichrist comes. In those days they shall know all these things, and from the time of the removal of the continuous sacrifice they are also reckoned 1,290 days. Then iniquity shall abound, as the Lord also says, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. 44. And that divisions will arise when the falling away takes place is without doubt. And when divisions arise, love is chilled. The words, Blessed is he that waiteth and cometh to the 1,335 days, have also their value, as the Lord said. but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Wherefore let us by no means admit the falling away, lest iniquity abound, and the abomination of desolation, that is, the adversary, overtake us. And he said to him, Unto evening, that is, unto the consummation, and morning. What is morning? The day of resurrection. For that is the beginning of another age, as the morning is the beginning of the day. And the 1,400 days are the light of the world. For on the appearing of the light of the world, as he says, I am the light of the world, the sanctuary shall be purged, as he said, of the adversary. For it cannot by any means be purged, but by his destruction.